Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you guys how I got this bridal makeup look. And I brought in my friend Lizzie, who is a makeup artist on Instagram at Pretty by Lizzie. So you guys should be sure to follow her there. And she is doing my bridal makeup for my wedding. So I know a lot of you guys have requested this look, and I just thought it'd be a good way to just put it in a video and make a tutorial out of it. And so the look I went for is like a really subtle glam with a lot of bronze, sun-kissed tones, and I think that's just like what we got perfectly. What do you think?
I agree.
Okay, so
very natural. We just ended up going with lots of browns. Not too much of a smoky eye, we kept it to a minimum, but we used lots of browns and bronze on the lid and just glow, glow, glow everywhere.
And pink.
Yes.
All right, so stay tuned watching this video and see how we got this look, and she's gonna break it down for you guys in a bunch of steps, and we're gonna put all the products below in the description, so stay tuned.
So we're gonna start with MAC Painterly Paint Pot to prime your eyes. And this will just help ensure that your eyeshadow stays all day and night. I have all these tools and I always end up using my fingers. Okay, and then we'll set it just to make sure that there's no creasing. And I just like to use like any, just like a white shadow. Or not white, but skin toned. Okay, and then before we do anything else, I'm going to moisturize you. So I'm gonna start with some just facial spray. We're going for a really glowy look, so hydration is key. It's gonna feel really wet.
Oh God, it tastes good.
Yeah, it has rose water in it.
What is this?
Yes.
Mario Badescu.
Yeah, it's from Ulta. It's so affordable. It's my favorite. I use it like day and night. And then we're going to moisturize you. This is also Mario. This is really good because it has vitamin C, and vitamin C is really good for brightening your skin. Okay, so the look we're going for right now is just a lot of browns, not any black. So I am going to start with the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia. She has a lot of pretty soft neutrals, which is perfect for what we're going for today.
Yeah.
So I'll start with a transition color. So mix 2 soft browns, and we're gonna put this, I'm gonna have you turn this way, in the crease. So the key to your look is layering, because we don't wanna put so much that it's dark, but if we start light and then keep applying, we'll get that nice brown smoky eye that we're looking for without any black.
Yeah, I'm not really into black because everyone's like, oh, you look like a belly dancer with no black. And I'm like, okay,
Well, I think,
no black liner.
yeah. And for like your wedding, you want to feel your best. So if you're not comfortable with black, then avoid it. Okay, we'll do the same on the other eye.
So I noticed that you started with my eyes first.
Yes.
Foundation.
So I always start with eyes because in case there's fallout, if I wipe away the foundation after applying it, it's just a mess that I would have to reapply.
Yeah, totally.
So I always start with eyes just to prevent fallout and smearing, and it's just easier that way. Okay, so now that we have the base down, we're going to go in a little darker. So I'm going to go in with Sienna from the palette, which is also a soft brown, and we're also going to put that in the crease with the same brush. Switch.
I don't know how to look like, but okay, looks good.
The eyes, usually when you start with eyes, it always looks crazy because you have nothing else on. So the eyeshadow is like,
Boom.
yeah. But once everything else is set, it looks the way you want it to. I'm gonna take this Galactic Beauty Metallic Shadow Stick, and we're gonna put that right on your lid. It's a nice bronzy color since we're going for brown. Okay. And then I'm going to blend it out. So Summer does not want any black liner, so we are going to use a dark brown. So I'm just going to take a flat brush and we're just going to smoke out brown on your lash line. Just to give it a little more definition, this also helps your lashes look fuller. So I just take that brown and I smudge it right into the lash line. that's it for shadow.
Ooh. So you don't use tape or anything like that to
no,
make it even?
I could, but tape gives you a more harsh line. But with a look like this, I would not use tape. But if we were going for like a sharp liner, I would use tape. Okay, so now we are going to throw on some lashes, and I think for today we'll do Whispies because they're super natural. Yeah. They're not heavy, and they look like your own lashes, just longer and wispier.
Which ones are these?
The Wispy, Ardell Whispies. So the ones on the bottom. So each tray is different, but we'll go with the last ones. Okay, so we'll let this get tacky for like 30 seconds. It's always good to wait. Don't put it on right away because then they'll just slide everywhere and you'll have a harder time applying it. But if you wait, it'll be tacky and it'll just stick right. Yes, it'll stick right to the skin. And I always like to make the band less curved just because this is not the natural shape of an eye. Okay. So now that it's blue, we'll go ahead and put it on. So what I'm gonna have you do is look down. You don't have to close, but look down. And I always like to start in the center and then the outside and the inner corner. They are right where they're supposed to be. You do not want to see a gap between your natural lash line and the lash because then you can tell that you have on fake lashes. So again, middle, outer corner, and then inner corner. And because I waited for it to get tacky, it's just that much easier to put on. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yay! So, Summer loves to do her own eyebrows. Yeah. That's like a pet peeve of hers. Yeah. So she was wanting, underneath the brow, I always like to put like a white or a shimmer. So we'll do that, excuse me, last because once you define your brows, I can go in with a little concealer to really sculpt them out, and then we'll put the shadow underneath to give that look that you want. Okay, so now that we're done with eyes, we are going to move on to face. So we've already primed, so we will start with Glow Amore Boosting Drops from L'Oreal. And since we're going for such a dewy look, we're going to put this before the foundation. And we're just going to apply this on the cheek. And this is just going to give you a nice glow that we're looking for. And I always love to use a beauty blender that's damp because it just pushes it into the skin so nicely and you don't see any harsh lines. Look at me. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to wetten this a little or dampen it just a little. And today we're going to be using Elcie Cosmetics foundation. I love this foundation because it's buildable. So Summer doesn't really need a lot. We just want to cover some spots, but she's a bride, so we want to make sure that her skin looks, yes. Right, so I mixed 2 colors to just get her perfect shade and apply that with a flat brush.
And do you like to put concealer after foundation?
Yes, so conceal is the last thing that you do. Foundation is the base. Usually when you put on foundation, you can cover a majority of what it is that you're trying to hide, and then concealer just helps perfect the face. Okay, so this is a very lightweight foundation. So as you can see, some of her blemishes are still popping through. So we're going to add just one more layer. Layer is key. You don't want to apply too much at first because then you'll get cakey. But if you apply a little at a time, I just got makeup all over me. So I was saying we're going to apply just a little more because like I said, layering is key. And we don't want to look cakey. Okay, Now we're going to go in and conceal. What I like to do first is start with a concealer that is the same as your natural skin color to cover the the blues and the purples that we see in our skin because we're Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll go in with a brightener.
For all the Middle Eastern watching.
We all feel your pain. So I'm gonna have you look straight up, and I'm going to put this underneath the eye. And I like to mix just to ensure that I'm getting the right color. And you really want to make sure that you get inside of the inner eye because that's where we see the most darkness. And sometimes if you don't apply enough, it can look black, and we don't want that. So then we're just going to spot conceal, and I like to bring it down the bridge of the nose because sometimes women tend to get red around the nose area, and we don't want that to peek through. Okay, and then you're going to take that beauty blender again, spray it one more time, and blend. And blend, 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 blend when it comes to concealer because you do not want to see the difference between the concealer and the foundation. You want it to all be one. I am crazy when it comes to blending on the face. I don't like to see. It's good for you. Okay, so now we're going to brighten. So I love MAC's Prolongwear Concealer in NC20 for summer. I use it for myself too. And we're going to put this under the eye, anywhere that you really want to brighten. So under the eye, we're gonna put it on the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, on the chin, give us a little more coverage where you need it. And then we're going to blend again, so look straight up. And I love this concealer. It's thick, but a little goes a long way. And it does what it needs to, which is to conceal, to brighten. We're gonna go back with that brush again to get the inner corner. Okay, so now you can see like your eyeshadow just pops out even more once we get that base down and we conceal and brighten. Now, we want to make sure that the under eye does not crease. So we are just going to use a little bit of this Derma Blend loose setting powder. It's translucent. And we're going to put it right underneath the eye. And I like to use the Beauty Blender too. Look up. And we're just going to put it underneath that concealer. And then I'm just going to blend it away. Okay, so before we set the rest of the face with powder, I'm gonna go ahead and use those drops one more time. Because again, it's all about glowy.
Interesting.
So we're just gonna put them on the same spots that we did before. And I'm doing this before powder because it's liquid. You don't want to put liquid on top of powder because then it just slides everywhere and it won't give us what we want. Make sure you're blending. You can even use your finger. Okay, I'm going to spray you again before we set with powder. So I'm going to have you close. That dry. So I like to take a fluffy brush, wipe off the excess, and just pat it in the skin. Okay, so before we go on anything else, I'm going to have Summer do her brows.
So yeah, I like to do my own brows just because I feel like no matter what, no matter how good you are, anyone.
It's okay.
It's like a personal
I'm not
thing.
offended.
You know exactly what you do for your brows.
Yes.
So yeah, I like to do my own brows just because I feel like you can really know your brows best and you won't make them look too thick or too thin. Obviously Lizzie's really good, but
it's okay. You're the bride, I'll let you do what you want.
It's just the one thing I usually do. Other than that, I can't do anything else. So, I don't know. I don't know when I'm supposed to stop filling them in, really.
You already have really good brows, so you don't need a lot.
Yeah, I think
so
I'm
our
good
focus is just the gaps.
Yeah.
And then always make sure you brush it out, just to ensure that it looks natural, and to give you another look at the brow. Good? Let me see. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll take just a little bit of concealer to really define that brow. And this just helps define and sculpt a little bit more. Okay, now we are going to move on to the rest of the face. We are going to use some bronzer up to the forehead, down the jawline. So since we're going for like a soft makeup look, we don't want to go too crazy with the bronzer. So with that same bronzer and just a skinnier brush, go down the bridge of the nose. Same on the other side. We'll just blend it out. Okay, and then what I like to do is I like to take that beauty blender again, and to really sculpt the face, I will just put it right underneath that bronzer, just to give us a little more of a defined look. Okay, and then we'll let that sit for a couple of minutes. Okay, now we are going to go in with mascara. I know I'm not naming all the products, but we'll list them
down in the description below.
Once we're all done. Okay, so I'm going to have you look down, and I'm going to just blend your natural lashes with the strip of lashes that we used. Perfect. And then we're going to do, actually I'm going to have you look up, and we're going to do the bottom lash line. Okay, do the same on the other side. So have you look this way and look down. Now we are going to finish the rest of the face. So we're going to just wipe away all that powder. Okay, so for blush, we don't want to use a whole lot of color because of the look that we're going for, but you still want to give the cheeks a nice glow. So I'm going to use Fleur Power, I believe, by MAC. And we're just going to put that on the apples of the cheeks. So go ahead and smile. We don't have to do fish face for this. And then we are going to take a highlighter. And my favorite at the moment is the Amrezy highlighter. Up to the brown bone, so make that C, the same thing we did with the bronzer. And then we want to give a little pop to the inner corner. So I'm going to take a little bit of this just loose pigment from NYX. Okay. We're just going to put that in the corner. So I'm going to have you look up. You could even take it and just put it like right underneath the brows. Just a little bit. You don't want too much. So we want to try to stay with something nice and neutral, but still have a little bit of color to it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with MAC's Boldly Bare lip pencil. It's just a really nice pinkish nude lip liner. And I always recommend using a lip liner because it helps you define the lips. I'm gonna have you look this way, and will help the makeup last, or the lip last longer. We're going to use this color by L'Oreal called Fairest Nude. Just a very pretty soft pink. Goes perfect with this look. And again, with lips, layer. Especially with a lipstick like this, it's easier to layer. And if you make any mistakes, you can always go in with just a little concealer brush and sharpen out the edges to make sure that it looks even. And then we're going to add a little bit of shine on top. What is it? Maybelline Too Cute Liqueur. And we're just going to take a lip brush and put this gloss right on top. And the last thing that we do is we set the face. I'm gonna go in with the rose water again.
Smells nice.
Yes, so does the MAC Prep and Prime, but this is, I love this stuff. This will just help make sure that her makeup stays in place. It'll get rid of any of the cakiness, if there is any. We do not have any cakiness. I will pat myself on the back for that. Thanks, Summer. But it'll just give you another layer of mist, and it's good for the skin, so why not?